Good evening. When news of Robin Williams' sudden death broke this morning, it was both a shock and in many ways personal. We all thought we knew him. We certainly knew his work. He was still in his early 60s, an Oscar-winning actor with a breathtaking range, a comic genius loved by millions with an insight into human nature that so many of us recognised and admired. Tonight, we mourn his loss.
Police in Marin County, north of San Francisco, got the 911 call just before midday. A man unconscious, not breathing at his waterfront home. It was Robin Williams, dead at 63 from asphyxiation, apparently a suicide. Williams lived here with his wife, graphic designer Susan Snyder. He was last seen alive about 10 p.m. on Sunday night. It's uncertain he was there alone before his body was discovered at 11:55 Monday morning. His wife issued a statement saying, "This morning I lost my husband and my best friend. I am utterly heartbroken," describing him as one of the world's most beloved artists and beautiful human beings. His publicist confirmed the actor had been battling depression.
He gave me nightmares. Me too.
But for Williams, dark moments on screen were rare. He was fast, loud, manic, brilliant.
Ethel Merman today uses a test to jam Russian radar. Here's a brief test of that jamming. Hello, I've got a feeling that love is here to stay. When asked for a reply, the Russians went, "What the hell was that?"
Chicago-born, New York-trained, he rose to fame as an alien in the TV series Mork and Mindy.
I was sent to observe Earth and report back everything to Orson on Ork. That's my job.
Then came movies like this.
Good morning, Vietnam!
You,
And
Virginia Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, a riot in drag.
Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
Other highly acclaimed movies included Dead Poets Society and The Fisher King. He won 2 Emmys, 4 Golden Globes, 5 Grammys.
I want to thank my father up there, the man who, when I said I wanted to be an actor, he said, "Wonderful, just have a backup profession like welding."
That Oscar came for a rare, intense role as a teacher in Good Will Hunting.
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you.
But mostly, he was very, very funny.
Are we crucifying someone tonight?
The hospital will cover all of your bills. Any other questions?
Well, is this a dagger I see before me? 26th President of these United States of America, at your service.
An amazing talent for mimicry and improvisation made his animated movies surefire hits.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
You're beautiful.
Only on the outside.
Williams was no less funny in his TV interviews.
Forgive me. Fashion should be a statement, not a question. I'm sorry.
You open a little saloon door and you walk in and don't be afraid to pretend you're packing heat. Well, that's good too.
Here on Global Warming.
I remember Ronald Reagan saying, "All you need is a good hat."
Then they removed a small child from his face.
One of few Americans to get the Aussie accent.
Don't be afraid. You mean going down under?
He loved Australia.
You know, that's nature's grab bag down there, you know?
Nature's grab bag.
Darwin's fun room.
I mean, I've never had a bad time here, and that's without drinking.
He did struggle with drugs and alcohol, was in rehab just last month.
I'm not alone, and that's the main thing. When you come out of rehab, if you know that, then you got a big shot.
Williams' most recent role was in the TV sitcom The Crazy Ones.
I'm going to need some meat.
You have this man who is truly one of the top 10 greatest all-time stand-up comics ever.
Tributes from the streets of LA to the White House. He arrived in our lives as an alien, said the president, but he ended up touching every element of the human spirit. An artistic genius, like so many, taken too soon.
And Mike Amor is outside the home in Northern California where Robin Williams died. Mike, what are police now saying about his death?
Well, Mark, they're still treating this as an apparent suicide. Some are speculating it may have been by hanging or some other form of choking. But police are making no assumptions. They're carrying out a full investigation, beginning with an autopsy scheduled for tomorrow, and that will include toxicology tests to see whether drugs or alcohol were involved. Mark.
OK, Mike Amor, thank you. We have more details tonight on the final hours of Robin Williams, with a preliminary autopsy report confirming he hanged himself. As his family mourns in private, the rest of us are left to wonder why the life of such a comic genius ended so sadly.
For those who laid flowers outside his Tiburon home, this was personal. For many, he was a neighbour, an acquaintance, even a friend.
Yeah, he was a very nice person. We'd go up to him each time we saw him and thank him for all of his wonderful hard work.
Today we learned what happened inside his 6-bedroom, $6 million waterfront home. The comedian was last seen alive by his wife, Susan Snyder, at 10:30 p.m. when she went to bed. He went to a separate room. 12 hours later, she left to walk the dog.
Mr. Williams' wife left the home, believing Mr. Williams to still be asleep. Mr. Williams' personal assistant became concerned at approximately 11:45 a.m. when he failed to respond to knocks on his bedroom door.
The assistant found Williams had hanged himself.
The preliminary cause of death is asphyxia due to hanging.
It's been confirmed that Robin Williams' body has been released, but funeral arrangements are still being worked on. Police say an official cause of death will not be determined until after toxicology tests are finished. That could take several weeks. The outpouring of grief continued at his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
It really just shows that somebody can make everybody else happy, but you're really not be happy inside. It's really sad.
Fellow actors also paid tribute.
We are mourning the loss of such a great man.
It's a great comedian, and to make people laugh nowadays is a serious business.
Locations made famous by his movies have become places to mourn. The Boston Bench, featured in Good Will Hunting.
You're just a kid.
The San Francisco home, depicted in Mrs. Doubtfire. And the Colorado house, shown in Mork and Mindy. Williams is also remembered for his volunteer and charity work, whether entertaining troops.
Good morning, background!
Or charming a young cancer patient.
Keep Darcy cool. Keep Rio cool.
The most touching tribute came from his daughter Zelda, who was the subject of Williams' final Instagram to celebrate her 25th birthday. She quoted a French writer, you alone will have the stars as no one else has them. In one of the stars I shall be living. In one of them I shall be laughing. And so it will be as if all the stars were laughing when you look at the sky at night. You, only you, will have the stars that can laugh. She added, I love you, I miss you, I'll try to keep looking up. In Tiburon, Mike Amor, 7 News.
The tragic death of Robin Williams has prompted a surge in people with depression reaching out for help. Tonight we hear from the Hollywood comedian when he previously spoke about his personal battles. Health experts hope it'll encourage many others to seek support.
Few celebrity deaths have hit America as hard as the suicide of Robin Williams. It reduced others who normally laugh for a living to tears.
When we learned that genius comedian and actor Robin Williams passed away. He was one of a kind. He was one in a million.
But it wasn't just his death. It was the way he died that has shaken so many. It's led to people like writer Mary Curran Hackett to talk about why she attempted suicide.
At a certain point, I thought the world would be a better place without me.
Williams spoke about his struggles in 2006.
Do I perform sometimes in a manic style? Yes. Am I manic all the time? No. Do I get sad? Oh, yeah. Does it hit me hard? Oh, yeah.
If somebody that brings us such joy can have this condition, maybe it gives other people permission to talk about their psychiatric conditions and symptoms and hopefully get help.
And that's exactly what's happening, even in Australia, where Robin Williams' suicide may have already saved lives. Lifeline has been flooded with calls for help.
With Robin Williams' death on Tuesday, we had a 25% increase in our calls, and the same again yesterday.
This week's Time magazine will pay tribute to Robin Williams, as will Time itself. In the United States, Mike A. Moore, 7 News.
And if you or someone you know is going through a personal crisis, counsellors at Lifeline can help. They're available at any time on 131114.